Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know today that this is a brand new week and a brand new opportunity. You see, God has given you this day for a reason. This is your chance to hit the reset button, to leave yesterday's troubles behind and step into a future filled with promise, purpose, and possibility. When you begin every week with faith, gratitude, and a spirit of expectation, you set the tone for the days ahead. And I believe with all my heart that if you rise up every Monday morning saying, this is going to be my week, God is going before me, His favor is surrounding me, and every good thing is coming my way, then you're going to see things happen that you never thought were possible. So today, let's talk about how to position ourselves to embrace the greatness that lies ahead, because this is how you should begin every week. Every Monday morning holds a quiet power that most people overlook. It's that first breath of a new week when everything feels like a blank page just waiting for your story. When you begin that week with a genuine sense of gratitude, you set the tone for everything that will follow. Gratitude isn't simply about listing what you have. It's a practice that shifts your heart into the right posture. When you wake up and focus on what's good in your life, you're telling yourself and telling God that you appreciate what you already have, which opens the door for even greater blessings. Think about it. You could wake up dreading your Monday, worrying about the emails waiting for you, or you could choose to see that very moment as a gift. Every breath you take is proof that you still have purpose. Every small comfort, every little joy around you, every person who loves you is a reason to thank God. Starting your week like that empowers you. Instead of stepping into Monday feeling drained, you feel filled up. That's what gratitude does. It's like fuel for your soul. When you begin the week with gratitude, you also prepare your heart to recognize good things as they come. Our world moves fast. If we're not careful, we blow past the small blessings God places in our path each day. A kind word from a coworker, a bit of sunshine on your face, the laughter of someone you care about. These are little gifts that add up to a joyful life. But if you're too busy complaining or worrying, you won't even see them. Practicing gratitude at the very beginning of your week gives you new eyes to see these everyday miracles. And this is more than just a positive mindset. Gratitude is a spiritual discipline. It reminds you who is really in control. When you thank God first, you acknowledge that every good thing in your life is a gift, not an accident. That awareness builds your trust in Him. If He's provided up until now, you can trust that He'll provide for the days ahead too. And that assurance gives you confidence that can't be shaken by the stress of a busy Monday or the fear of an uncertain future. Gratitude also reshapes your interactions with other people. When you appreciate what you have, you stop comparing yourself to everyone else. That quiets the envy and discontent that steal your joy. Instead of looking at someone's highlight reel on social media and feeling less than, you look at your own life and recognize its beauty. That inner contentment makes you more kind, more patient, and more generous to those around you. In the workplace, this attitude can change everything. Gratitude is contagious. If you show up Monday morning grateful for your job, for your team, and for the chance to grow and contribute, it rubs off on the people near you. It becomes part of the atmosphere you create. Even if the tasks ahead seem difficult, you can tackle them with a sense of purpose because you're grounded in thankfulness. And don't overlook how starting your week with gratitude can protect your mental and emotional health. Stress and worry shrink in the face of genuine appreciation. When you focus on what is right in your life, what's going well, and what God has already done for you, anxiety loses its grip. It's hard to be discouraged when your heart is overflowing with thankfulness. Gratitude is also a powerful way to counter any sense of stagnation or hopelessness. Maybe you feel like you've been stuck in a tough season. Maybe your circumstances haven't changed as quickly as you'd hoped. Even then, you can begin the week listing what is still good: your health, your family, the progress you've made so far. That practice reminds you that you're never truly empty. It builds resilience because you see that even in imperfect circumstances, God's goodness is present. Starting your week with this perspective sets you up for success. It keeps you humble. It keeps you hopeful, It keeps you looking up instead of looking down. It reminds you that you don't face the coming days alone, and it shapes every thought and action that follows. It is the quiet, powerful habit that can make all the difference in how you live your week. When you set a clear, positive intention at the beginning of your week, you are choosing to live with purpose rather than simply drifting through your days. Many people wake up on Monday morning and let their schedules, emails, and obligations decide what the week will look like. They react to whatever comes their way. But when you take a few deliberate moments to decide what you want your week to stand for, you give yourself direction. That intention acts like a compass. It reminds you of what really matters before all the noise and distractions have a chance to pull you off course. A positive intention is different from a simple to-do list. It's not just about the tasks you want to complete, although those matter too. It's about the kind of person you want to be as you go about your week. Maybe you want to be more patient. Maybe you want to focus on bringing encouragement into your relationships. Maybe you want to trust God more and worry less. Whatever it is, when you state that intention at the outset, it becomes a lens through which you see all your activities. You're telling yourself, no matter what happens this week, this is who I am choosing to be. Setting a clear, positive intention also keeps you grounded. Life will always be full of surprises, interruptions, and challenges, but an intention gives you an inner stability. Let's say your week takes an unexpected turn, and you're dealing with stress at work or tension at home. Instead of losing yourself in frustration or fear, you come back to that original intention. That reminder gently steers you back toward the attitude you chose. Even if everything around you feels chaotic, you can still live according to the purpose you decided on when the week began. This practice can also help you make decisions more easily. Throughout the week, you'll face countless choices, some big, some small. If you've already taken the time to define what matters most to you in this season, those decisions will feel less overwhelming. You can simply ask yourself, does this align with my intention for the week? If it doesn't, you can let it go without guilt. That sense of alignment frees you to say yes to the things that fit your purpose and no to the things that will only drain you. A clear, positive intention is also an act of faith. It's a way of telling God that you want your week to reflect His heart. Instead of rushing into Monday with your hands full of your own plans and worries, you pause long enough to say, Lord, this is what I want to live out. Help me to do it in a way that honors you. That kind of openness invites His guidance into every area of your life. When you do that, you may be surprised at the divine appointments and small nudges that come your way, pointing you toward exactly what you need. And here's something important to remember. Your intention doesn't need to be perfect or overly complicated. In fact, the most powerful intentions are often the simplest, a single word like peace, trust, or gratitude. These simple choices can set the emotional and spiritual tone for your entire week. By repeating them to yourself each morning, especially when you feel pulled in 100 different directions, you create a habit of turning back to the mindset you decided on before anything else could take hold. When you practice this habit consistently, week after week, it shapes your character over time. The qualities you choose to focus on gradually take deeper root in your thoughts and actions. You become more aware of the small ways you can live them out. You also become more forgiving with yourself, recognizing that this is a process that some days will go better than others, but the real power lies in starting each week with the right heart and the right focus. And as you grow in this practice, you'll notice a sense of purpose that carries you. Even ordinary, everyday routines take on new meaning because they fit into the bigger picture of who you are becoming. That clarity gives you strength. It allows you to navigate the ups and downs of the week with a steadiness that doesn't come from circumstances, but from a conscious commitment you've already made. When you set a clear, positive intention before the busyness begins, you take an active role in creating a week that feels meaningful and aligned with your values. It's a simple, profound way of preparing yourself to live fully, faithfully, and purposefully in the days ahead. When you speak victory over your days, you are choosing to shape your week with the power of your words. Every Monday morning, you have the opportunity to decide how you will talk about what lies ahead. Many people go into a new week dreading the responsibilities they face or expecting the worst. But when you speak victory, you are proclaiming that good things are going to happen, that challenges will be overcome, and that God's favor is going before you. This kind of speech isn't empty positivity. It's an active expression of your faith and your trust that the future can be better than your past. The words you speak about your week can set a powerful tone for how you experience it. Imagine waking up and immediately telling yourself, this is going to be a great week. I am strong. I am equipped. I am capable. That kind of language shifts your mindset. Instead of bracing for the next obstacle, you begin looking for the opportunities. It's easy to overlook this practice because so much of our internal talk is negative or neutral at best. But choosing to speak victory intentionally is like flipping a switch that turns on a light of expectancy that shines into every corner of your day. And this practice is deeply biblical. Scripture tells us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. That means your words matter. When you declare victory over your days, you're using one of the most powerful tools God gave you. You're agreeing with His promises that you are more than a conqueror, that you can do all things through Christ, who strengthens you. These kinds of declarations build resilience inside you, even when difficulties come and you have already set your heart on believing they can be handled, that they will not defeat you. Speaking victory is also a practical habit that shapes your emotional and mental state. Think about the difference between a Monday spent complaining under your breath versus one spent telling yourself you are going to finish what you start. You are going to grow through every challenge. You are going to show kindness to those around you. Words like these don't change the circumstances on your desk or in your inbox, but they do change the person facing them. They remind you that you don't have to react to your week from a place of fear or negativity. Instead, you can respond from a position of strength. And as you practice this, you'll see that your words don't just impact you, they impact those around you too. The atmosphere of your home or workplace is shaped by what you say. If you choose to speak hope and victory, those around you will feel it. When your coworkers hear you say, we're going to do a great job this week, or your family hears you say, God is going to help us through whatever comes, it spreads encouragement. Words like these can lift others who might have been feeling discouraged themselves. There is also a spiritual discipline to this kind of speech. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending problems don't exist. It's about declaring that God is greater than the problems. It's about choosing to speak as though you already believe that He is working all things together for good. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. Over time, this kind of speech begins to reflect the deep trust you have that God is on your side. And that trust matters, especially when the week throws you curveballs. When something unexpected comes up, a difficult conversation, an unplanned expense, a last-minute change in your schedule, your first words matter. If you've trained yourself to speak victory, your first response will be to acknowledge that you can handle this, that God will provide the wisdom and strength you need. That doesn't mean you won't feel the weight of the issue, but it means you won't let it crush your spirit. Your words also have a way of focusing your attention on what you want to grow. Speak victory over your work, your relationships, your health, and your dreams. Every time you do, you are planting seeds. Throughout the week, those seeds will sprout into attitudes, habits, and choices that align with your faith-filled declarations. It's a practice that can feel small at first, but its effects ripple out into every area of your life. When you intentionally speak victory at the start of the week, you're telling your heart and mind which path you plan to walk, and you are setting yourself up to follow it. Letting go of last week's disappointments is one of the most powerful choices you can make as you begin a new week. It's tempting to carry the weight of what went wrong yesterday into what you hope to do tomorrow, but that baggage will only slow you down. Every new week is an invitation to reset your heart and your mind, to stop replaying the failures and frustrations of the past so you can focus on what lies ahead. The energy you spend looking backward could be better spent moving forward. That process of letting go begins with acknowledging that nobody has a perfect week. You may have fallen short of your goals, faced an unexpected setback, or struggled through situations you couldn't control. That's part of being human. But when you recognize that every disappointment is also an opportunity to learn and grow, you rob it of its power to define you. What happened last week might inform you, but it doesn't have to imprison you. The past is already written and you can't change it, but you can decide what story you will live from this moment on. This is especially important because holding on to disappointment steals your focus. When your thoughts are consumed by what didn't go right, it's impossible to see the new possibilities in front of you. Your creativity dries up. Your enthusiasm fades. Even your relationships can feel strained because part of you is still stuck in yesterday's drama. Letting go is like clearing a cluttered room. Suddenly there's space to breathe again, to move more freely, and to appreciate the good that was there all along. There's also a deep spiritual wisdom in this practice. Scripture reminds us that God's mercies are new every morning. That means you could wake up on Monday with a clean slate. The grace He offers doesn't come with a tally of all the times you missed the mark. It meets you right where you are and invites you to embrace the present moment. That assurance frees you to forgive yourself and others too, which is often a big part of moving on. Holding on to bitterness or regret is like drinking poison and hoping someone else will feel its effects. Choosing to forgive and to leave the past behind is choosing your own freedom. And you'll find that this practice of letting go changes the way you show up in the world. When you're not carrying the invisible weight of past disappointments, you have more energy for the things that truly matter. You become more present at work, more attentive to the people you love, and more open to new experiences. Even simple tasks feel lighter when your spirit is unburdened. Letting go is an act of self-care as much as it is an act of faith. It acknowledges that you deserve to live without dragging yesterday's troubles into today's light. It's also an ongoing process. Some disappointments don't disappear just because we wish them away. Sometimes they resurface during quiet moments, whispering their tired stories of regret. That's why it's important to practice releasing them daily, to remind yourself that the past has already had its say. Every time a negative thought tries to take up residence in your mind, you can gently but firmly show it the door. That discipline of redirecting your focus toward hope and possibility is one of the most practical and powerful habits you can cultivate. And when you practice this habit long enough, you'll notice a subtle shift in your character. Instead of being shaped by what went wrong, you become someone who is shaped by resilience. You become someone who can look back without getting stuck, someone who can draw wisdom from mistakes without carrying them like chains. That resilience gives you a quiet strength that carries into every part of your life. This is especially important as you look at the week ahead. Every Monday holds new challenges and new blessings, but you can only embrace them if you let your hands drop the baggage you picked up along the way. By choosing to release last week's disappointments, you give yourself permission to grow, to dream again, and to believe that this week holds its own surprises and victories. It's a practice that honors your past without letting it take control of your future. And it opens the door to becoming the person you are meant to be one day at a time. Aligning your goals with your faith is one of the most important things you can do to set yourself up for a meaningful, purpose-driven week. Too often we separate what we want to achieve from what we believe deep in our hearts, forgetting that these two parts of our lives were never meant to exist apart. When your ambitions and your faith walk hand in hand, everything you do carries a deeper sense of intention and integrity. Instead of chasing after goals that leave you feeling empty or exhausted, you pursue those that reflect the values you truly hold and the purpose God has placed within you. It all begins by examining what you are striving for. Ask yourself, do my goals reflect who I believe God created me to be? Do they draw me closer to the kind of life I want to live, one that is centered on His guidance and His love? It's easy to get caught up in what the world says success looks like: more money, more recognition, more stuff, but aligning your goals with your faith means redefining success. Success becomes measured by your growth, by your character, by the impact you have on others, and by your obedience to the path God lays before you. That kind of alignment brings a sense of peace to your work. When you chase after goals that truly matter to you and that honor your faith, there's a calm assurance that comes with each step. Even on difficult days, you know you're on the right path because your goals have been grounded in something eternal rather than fleeting. That doesn't mean the road will always be easy, but it does mean the struggle is meaningful. Even the obstacles feel less like distractions and more like part of a larger, divinely guided story. And this is where faith and goal setting work together most powerfully. Aligning your goals with your faith is an invitation to trust that God will lead you toward what's right for you at the right time. Instead of anxiously grasping at every opportunity, you can pause and pray for guidance. You can listen for the gentle voice telling you which goals to pursue and which to let go. It takes humility to say, God, I want what you want for me, especially if His plan looks different from what you imagine. But that humility is also liberating. It frees you from the pressure of doing everything on your own and allows you to walk in partnership with a God who sees the whole picture when all you see is one small piece. That sense of partnership can also help you navigate setbacks. When a door closes or a plan falls through, you don't have to see it as a personal failure. Instead, you can view it as part of a larger plan that you may not fully understand yet. Aligning your goals with your faith reminds you that your worth is never tied to your achievements and that God's purposes for your life can be greater and more beautiful than anything you had originally envisioned. This gives you resilience. Even when your plans shift, your sense of self and your sense of purpose remain firmly rooted. And when your goals truly reflect your faith, they energize you. Every step you take toward those goals feels like an obligation and more like a calling. The work becomes an expression of your values. The effort you pour into it becomes an act of devotion. Even small daily tasks take on new meaning because they fit into the larger story God is writing with your life. You stop feeling like you're simply going through the motions and start feeling like you're moving toward a purpose that matters. Aligning your goals with your faith also simplifies your choices. Opportunities will come and go. Some will look tempting on the surface, promising quick rewards or instant recognition. But when your goals are aligned with your deepest beliefs, it becomes much clearer which paths you are meant to take and which ones you can let pass. That clarity is a gift, sparing you from a life of constant second guessing and keeping you focused on what truly matters. And as you live this way, your life naturally bears witness to what you believe. Other people will see that your ambitions are not just about personal gain, but about making a real difference. They will recognize that the driving force behind your goals is your desire to honor the one who created you. Aligning your goals with your faith reminds you that your work is an extension of your worship, and that every new week is an opportunity to live with purpose. Expecting God's favor and guidance as you begin each week is one of the most transformative habits you can practice. Too often we approach Monday mornings already weighed down by worries and to-do lists, feeling like we're stepping into the unknown alone. But when you choose to look ahead with the assurance that God is going before you, it changes everything. It's a way of shifting your focus from your own limitations to His limitless ability to make a way. When you truly believe that God's favor is upon you, you begin to see every meeting, every conversation, and every challenge as an opportunity for Him to work. Instead of walking into your work week with fear or dread, you enter with a quiet confidence. That confidence doesn't come from having all the answers yourself. It comes from knowing that you don't need to. You can trust that the same God who created you also knows the best path for you. When you lean into that guidance, it becomes easier to make decisions that align with His will and to move forward even when you can't see the whole road. Expecting God's favor also opens your heart to notice the small, everyday blessings that might otherwise pass you by. Favor isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it looks like a kind word at the perfect moment, an unexpected solution to a problem, or a moment of strength when you thought you had none left. When you begin your week expecting these signs of God's goodness, you become more aware of them as they appear. That awareness fuels your sense of gratitude and keeps you encouraged even on difficult days. And there's a powerful ripple effect that happens when you live this way. Other people can sense the hope and peace you carry. They see someone who is grounded in something deeper than the chaos of deadlines and distractions. That kind of attitude is contagious. It can inspire your coworkers, uplift your friends and family, and change the atmosphere around you. Simply by expecting God's favor and allowing that trust to shape your actions and reactions, you become a source of encouragement to those around you. Of course, expecting God's guidance doesn't mean that every day will go perfectly. It means you believe that even the detours and disappointments have a purpose. When plans don't work out as you hoped, you can respond with patience rather than panic. When an unexpected setback throws you off balance, you can pause and ask God to show you what you might not see yet. Trusting in His guidance doesn't remove all obstacles, but it gives you the strength and wisdom to navigate them well. That's the beautiful thing about placing your week in God's hands before it even begins. You're making a conscious decision to lean on a source of wisdom far greater than your own. You recognize that while you may not control every outcome, you do have control over your trust, your attitude, and your choices. That simple practice can bring an incredible sense of relief. Instead of feeling like you have to figure everything out on your own, you embrace the reality that you have a divine partner who is invested in every part of your life. And as you practice expecting God's favor and guidance week after week, it becomes more than a ritual, it becomes a way of life. You grow in your capacity to listen for His voice and to recognize His hand at work in even the smallest details. You begin to understand that your goals and plans are most fulfilling when they are shaped by His purposes. And when your plans do come to fruition, you can receive them with humility and joy, knowing that they are a reflection of His goodness and faithfulness. Starting your week this way also helps you hold your own ambitions with an open hand. You can pursue excellence without becoming obsessed with control. You can aim for great things while remaining flexible enough to follow God's lead. That balance is a gift. It allows you to put your best foot forward while releasing the outcome into hands far more capable than your own. Every Monday becomes an opportunity to grow your trust a little deeper, to embrace your work with purpose, and to remember that you don't walk into the week alone.